we doing to all my divine reflections watching this video? It's your boy Divine Messenger here with another message. And before we even get into it, Grand Rising, good afternoon, good night to all the beautiful divine reflections watching this video. That's my new name for y'all. But we're never gonna play around with this video because we have things that we had to discuss today. And one of these things being this April 8th eclipse. And I keep seeing different perspectives. I keep seeing different opinions about what's about to happen. But we got to understand. Actually, before we begin, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe. What are you doing? But the Patreon is up as well. You know, I have one of the tiers up, but I'm going to also make more tiers later on down the line to help us go further into deeper teachings and deeper occultic symbolism and different, just so many different enlightenments that we can speak on within the Patreon. So these things will get updated. So thank you, VVS Joey, for helping me with that, being my higher eyes. But as we get into this, we have different, we have our notes for today. So we have a different list of the things to expect for this eclipse that's going to happen on April 8th. And with these things happening, be ready, you watching this, be ready for you to awaken into your awakening, because you're basically the new kid on the block. You are the new kid moving from one state to another state. So think about states as well. So like if you were leaving California, going and flying to or driving to Georgia or Florida, these are a different state of minds now. So that's all states are. So if you actually travel outside of your state or outside of your country, then you'll begin to understand the states of mind and elevation that these different landmarks are at, or these different countries or these different states are at, or these different continents. So it's a way of thinking. So as you're going from California and you're flying down to the south, you're going down to a southern unconscious state of your mind. So you would have to enlighten yourself on a higher perspective. It's like New York. They would be at a higher state of mind, but they're still unconscious because they have so many unconscious beings migrating over to where their land is at, which is why there's many Coast Guards and National Guards that are defending these different states and landmarks, because there are many different immigrants who are coming to see this change of events. That's what this eclipse is all about. It's nothing but changing your eventful life and changing the events in your life, included into your life. So one example we got is transformation and stepping out of ego. And we finna get deep into this. But the transformation and stepping out of your ego is basically you transforming from the person that you used to know, because who you used to know yesterday is the past you. It's literally past you. It's literally. And you had to go inside of yourself and think, who do you want to be for tomorrow? Because you know tomorrow's going to come, but it won't come. But tomorrow's worried about tomorrow, but you shouldn't be worried about tomorrow, because tomorrow's here right now at this moment. So as you're transforming into a different being, while being in your being, you are becoming the true essence of who you always were. And that is the true essence of the Almighty Creator. That's all spirituality really is. All spirituality is doing is helping you figure out that you can humble your ego. You can give humility towards your ego. You can hug your ego and give love to it. You can also hate your ego as well, because that's what makes you love yourself even more. The fact that you know what you do and you hate that you do it and you're so addicted to your program, but it makes it fun because it's a temporary experience for a temporary reason, because it's here to help you transform and step out of your ego, because you can't get into a blissful state with Satan. That's all your ego is Satan. So you can't get into a blissful state with Satan involved into your programming, into your algorithm. So if your frequency is at a demonic program, you're not going to make it for April 8th. And this eclipse will bring all of that upon your darkness. Like all that light will be brought upon your darkness. So if 3 days do happen, this is where the true people's egos will be tested, because people will think that they should go haywire, what's about to happen. They're scared for their lives. They're believing all these different fear-mongering programs that have nothing to do with you. See, the wind knows. Thank you, universe. I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I just want to make sure I let this die down. But our ego doesn't know, well, some people's egos, it doesn't know what's supposed to be happening if you don't train it into happening the way it's supposed to be. I was trying to find a way of words with that, because I was going to say happen, but forget that. You see what I mean? So like transforming out of your ego, like no matter what, you're going to make mistakes, especially you may make mistakes in front of 1 million some people. You have to be okay with that. That's for you transforming now. If you're going to become awakened upon your spiritual journey, because now many people are going through shadow work. That's what happened. So people in 2020 before that, they went through their depression stage, they went through their shadow phase, they went through their dark depression days, they went through confronting their demons, and now they have awakened. Now 2024, people are going through that same 4-year cycle, the same 5-year cycle. Things always happen in numbers. So if you study gematria, things will always align up in divine timing with numbers. It's a numerical system and a numerical simulation. So numbers run our simulation and our ego. So you have to be able to transform out of that and step out of your ways and begin to sway yourself into a certain way of thinking and living and breathing and feeling and sensing and hearing. You have to be different from who you used to know. You have to want to evolve into the better you. So people will be comfortable lying in their lies because that's what they're used to. So they don't want to change. They don't want to be great. They don't want to be greater than great because it takes too much work. It takes too much effort. But there's some people who are watching this, how great you are, and you know that you're probably not even getting sleep, because I'm not even getting sleep, but I'm thankful for that. Why? Because think about all the things you talked about from this year alone and last year and the years before that. I know somebody watching this, you probably thought to yourself, I am going to do great and wonderful things, and how I'm going to do that, I don't know, but I'm going to do the shadow work, and I'm going to do great. I'm going to get my mom, my dad, myself, my brothers, whoever else. I'm going to give my people a house, and I'm going to give myself a house, and you're going to have a great and successful life in your career, and you're going to flourish in your flourishing. You're going to flourish beyond your astonishment. You're going to be so astonished by what you accomplished. You're going to be like, it's a miracle. Exactly. That's what we're beginning to go into. So if 3 days of darkness do happen, you should not fear what you already know. You should not fear your darkness, because before there was light, there was what? Come on, family. Next one, dealing with your past. A lot of people's past situations will come to light, but in this case, it'll be darkness, because we're talking about what? The eclipse. Because when it comes to the simulation, we don't know how the simulation will operate. So they said on the estimate, it'll be like 4 to 5 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes. Who even knows? And then it'll be a full eclipse, so not a partial. So you got a partial to where the moon is somewhat blocking the sun. So the moon will somewhat block the sun, but a full eclipse, the full moon is literally blocking the sun. So in this case, if it does stay there for 3 days, or if it's 4 to 5 minutes, I don't even know. I don't even care, because the simulation is going to do whatever it wants. The sun and moon are conscious on their own liking. I said that way too fast. The sun and moon are conscious on their own liking. So by that happening, you are basically seeing what already happened. The moon, these eclipses already happened beyond our simulation. You've seen the same thing every single year. So you have to understand and be careful to realizing how to deal with your past, because you're seeing the same. Now we're going back to what your past is, because you're seeing the same signs over and over, and you're dealing with it, but you're not bringing it to the surface level that you should be bringing it to, because you know what's going on in your life, but you want to ignore it because you're comfortable living in your lies, when you know your lies are disguising themselves as the truth. But what is the truth to your lies? You don't know. So you have to understand and come to terms with your past, and it's going to be dark. Yes. So when people say don't look at it, you'll go blind, that is a lie, because you can't even see majority of your life anyways. So of course a blind person will project what they can't see upon your life. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to realize you went through the past for a reason, because it was there to help shape you and mold you into the being that you were already being. And that is the lower image of the Almighty Creator. You are your higher self right now. So people are beginning to understand their higher self in a lower perspective right now in this timeline. And it's going to be scary, because you are purging what you don't know about yourself. So when it comes to your past, people, a lot of you seeing this, you will see that your past was meant to make you who the man or the woman you are today. And it sucks and it hurts. I know it does. And it's traumatizing, but that's the point. That's why demons do what they do, because it adds spice to your life. It adds character development to your life. That's how fucked up some people are. That's what manipulators and narcissists will do to you. They will make sure to build yourself up so that they can tear you down, so that you don't forget who brought you to that enlightenment that you wanted to be at. So they're literally molesting your mind to where you think you know something. They told you something else. They tricked you, violated you, and assaulted you to where you're trapped within their mind and your mind, and you have no idea what to do. So you keep giving yourself to the person that was pleasing you in a way that you didn't think was pleasing. So that's what has been staying upon your spirit and your mind. So that's why these demons will come to light. It's like P. Diddy, for example. That's why I was leading up to that example of where I was going with left field with that whole analogy. But that's why these P. Diddy cases are coming up. But not even just him. There'll be many other celebrities that will get exposed, like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, Drake. All these other celebrities will get exposed eventually. So there will be a time limit for their time. Like, for them to be considered ghosts, they are sacrificial lambs. So stop calling people ghosts. If you're calling somebody a goat, you are calling them a great sacrifice to the higher ups. So Diddy is nothing but a cover up for cover ups upon the covering up of elites, of elite hierarchies that are above our society, or what they think is our society, because they have created it. And these things come from your past. So you have to heal your past to know what the present moment is bringing into your future. Healing work. This one right here. When it comes to healing work comes in various different ways. So for example, I'm doing healing work right now. So what is it? And what I mean is, I'm out in nature right now, giving myself to the universe, giving myself to heaven. And some of y'all already know that. It doesn't have to be explained. You see it for yourself. And we do this on a daily basis, so it doesn't even matter. I don't have to sit here and brag about what I do. So that's why I'm healing myself, to make sure that you stay silent this season, because I got to do the same exact thing. Because we get into a state of bliss to where we know, like, if you are on your spiritual journey, so you already know what I'm talking about. If you're already awakened, you probably already unlocked majority of your gifts already. So you're already gifted beyond your gifts, and you still get more gifts. So you're able to be a psychic medium. You're able to be a seer. You're able to be a claircognizant, clairvoyant. You're able to be all these, there's many gifts. But you're able to be a prophecy, and you can prophesize your own future. You're able to literally manifest your future in the current moment right now. But that takes time and healing, because if you're not able to purge your demons, if you're not able to purge your past, then you will not be able to see what you're going into for the future. And you won't be able to see how to heal yourself, because the healing starts within. You can't look for healing outside of yourself, even though you can, but that's not real help for you. The real help begins with who? Exactly. And you know that. So you have to understand that healing will take time. It didn't take me days to become a divine messenger. No, it took years. It took a lifetime. It took lifetimes for me to do the healing work, to be able to tell you how to heal your work. Universe knows I'm telling the truth. The universe knows. It's speaking. It's a frequency. You have to be tapped in. That's what it comes with healing. Because some people will see the leaves moving or the trees moving. They'll be like, oh, it's the wind blowing. They're not wrong. But when it comes to a frequency, the universe, Almighty God, speaks in every single way possible, seen and unseen, heard and not heard, blind and unblinded. You have to become bright upon your darkness. That's all this eclipse is doing for us. It's shedding light upon our darkness and shedding darkness upon our light. So you have to think about polarities. So healing does take time for you. And you have to be able to forgive the people that did hurt you. That includes friends and family. That includes your classmates. That includes the people in your past. That includes your siblings. You have to forgive people, because they have no idea what they're doing. They're a program. Their algorithm runs at a certain program, at a certain rate, a certain bandwidth. And you have to be okay with that. That's why we have a moon in place. That's exactly why they are disguised in disguise, literally and figuratively. Like, these demons go beyond the moon. So you have to be able to understand where these people come from, where these beings come from. And it's beyond the spiritual warfare. It's beyond the physical warfare. We have been in warfare before we were even creating the word warfare in English or Hebrew or Aramaic or Islamic or telepathy. Like, this goes beyond the divine story of consciousness. The next one, changing and releasing people. So I feel like anyways, when it comes to changing, so you can't change people. So you can change yourself. By changing yourself, you help change people. I'm going to say it again. You can't change people. But by changing yourself, you can help change people. And by doing this, you change your way of thinking. And once you do that, you will release people. So you will be alone. Yes, you will have to be okay with that. Because it's like, imagine you're going to a party and you're sober, but you notice everybody in the party is drunk and high and out of their mind. Would you stay and enjoy that company? Would you stay and enjoy that party? Or would you rather go home? Would you rather just be in your own sober mind? Or you can be high. And what's crazy, even though you're sober, you're still high. So you can still be in your crib and you can have fun with yourself. But the choice is yours. You choose what you want to do with your life, because you know how drunk or high people get when they're around their same type of environment. And this is where the battle of egos will start clashing. So you have to release these people who serve you no good. Not only that, you have to release these karmic ties. Not only that, you have to release your sexual ties. Not only that, you have to release your ego ties to your family, your friends, and other people that you deem as your loved ones or worthy into your life. You have to be able to change what you see as reality, because reality is not even reality. If you ask reality, what are you? There wouldn't even be an answer. Why? Because it's an illusion. An illusion doesn't even speak, but our mind believes that we're speaking truth. How are we speaking truth if we are born into a lie? How? And if people aren't able to comprehend that, you have to release them from your life, because they're not able to upgrade you into the being that you are becoming. And once again, who is that? That's why you have to embrace this change. Why would you want to be the same person for 4 years? Why? What do you gain from that? It's like in sports. Why aren't you getting better in the gym? Why aren't you getting shots up every day? Imagine you take 10 shots every day. Why can't you take 50 or 60 or 80? Why can't you take 100? Why aren't you getting better? You're okay with just being complacent beyond a level that you could be at? You're okay with being mediocre? You're okay with being average? You had to change these ways of thinking, because you did not come. You were not born to be average. You were not born to just be a spare tire. You were not born to just be a tire in general. How big is your tires? You should want to have 80-inch rims. Not saying that on a physical car, but that's your mindset of thinking. You should want to be bigger than what you are, because no matter what, you're not bigger than what you are. But you have to lie to yourself. You have to lie to, for example, when I say lie to yourself, this is where the illusion and delusion come into play. So in order for you to be successful, you had to think that you're successful even though you're not successful right now physically. So what I mean is, you had to think to yourself that you are already where you want to be at in the future currently. You have to see that for yourself currently, and you have to believe that. So every single day, you had to look at within that mirror work now. You had to look into that mirror and tell yourself, I am healthy. I am beautiful. I have accomplished so many things. I am thankful for everything in my life. I am thankful for all the checks that are coming into my bank account. I am thankful for taking care of my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, whatever the case may be. You're just thankful for everything in life, and you're grateful for it. You see that every single day, and you believe it. Your subconscious mind will believe these lies that you are telling it. Why? Because your spirit has already accomplished everything that you are talking about currently right now in the present moment, building for your future. Your spirit knows that. So your spirit has to lie to your subconscious mind, because your spirit knows everything under the sun, literally and figuratively. And so now your subconscious mind has to actually catch up to these lies to make it your truth. National Guards are going to be here to control the increased population. We already covered that, but we can go deeper into that as well. But yes, you will start to see a lot of National Guards going into different states to help control the population. So there'll be many people who will die in this process. There'll be many people who will perish. Why? Because they lack knowledge. And what do I mean by that? If you lack information on what you should do with this purge, and you can call it, so like the purge, like the movies, but if you don't know what to do within this eclipse, then that would be your fault and your choice. And that sounds harsh, but you have to understand that if you do not take time, if you don't create time to improve yourself, and the journey that you are going forward into, then you will be lost. Not only that, you will die in the process. But what is death? What is death to energy? Energy can't die. So you're not going to die, but there will be people that will die. So you will have a rebirth. You will have a spiritual rebirth, and you will be awakened within your own body. So many of you will have a spiritual awakening. Not only that, you'll be able to understand spirituality in a nutshell. And not only that, you begin to understand religion. Not only that, you'll begin to understand Almighty God or Elohim. You'll begin to embody the frequency of God, because you are the embodiment of God, literally pretending to be a human being. But of course, you should not have other gods before me. So you have to understand contradictions now. So you understand the 10 Commandments, the 42 laws of mind. You will have a thirst for knowledge. That's why many of you aren't sleeping, because you're so determined to get better now. Many of you are able to begin to see your worth and your value in this world, because people have devalued many of us for so long to where we didn't see any value within ourselves. But now you're beginning to see the value within yourself, and that's what's making you become your highest self. So these National Guards, they're nothing but distractions. And there'll be many immigrants and migrants that are coming into different states. So there'll be more traffic coming within cities. There'll be more crime, but there'll be less crime. So be careful with talking to people, because there'll be people who are crashing out. They are fearful. There are people who are so unconscious in their fear, they will kill you because they fear you. Not only do they fear you, they kill you, they are killing themselves. So they're doing themselves a disfavor. And that goes into the karmic season. Because this karmic season is basically helping us understand that no matter what, you have to be careful, because you don't have to believe in karma. Understand, what goes around comes around. It's the exact same ideology. It's a way of thinking. If you have good intentions, you have nothing to fear within this eclipse. Damn, chill, relax. You have nothing to fear within this eclipse, because it is to help you become a better you. And within this karmic season, if you have been doing bad, if you've been hating, you've been stealing, you've been talking down on people, talking down on yourself, if you've been seeing negative programming and you've been accepting it, if you haven't been able to heal your demons, then your karmic season will hit you like a train. And you had to be ready for that. But how can you be ready for that? Nobody told you how to do it. You had to be ready for that and be ready for these demons to confront you head on. And you had to be like a lion now. You had to be a lone wolf, because people can't be on the same journey that you are going through. They can't see through your perspective. So as this season is going on, it won't be for long, but it's however long you perceive it to be real. So it's like the infinite Tsukuyomi. If you know about Naruto Shippuden, it's like Itachi putting somebody in the infinite Tsukuyomi. You'll be in an infinite nightmare if you don't know how to release yourself from that nightmare, because it's not even really a dream, but you're dreaming it to be reality, and it's not your reality. So you have to believe that everything that you're going through is meant to happen for you. So if you allow these negative things to overcome your life, then you will not make it past April 8th. I promise to God, you will not. Almighty God on top of that. But if you are ready, if you are awakened, if you are amped up, if you are thrilled to get your life going, to get yourself growing, then you will heal through your karmic season, and you will overcome your karmic season, and it won't be seasoned into your life anymore. It won't be a negative seasoning. It won't be spicy. It'll be a smooth ride, smooth sailing. And that goes into our next point, getting to the next level in life. Because as we're going, because now we can say 2024, it's not even the real year anyways, but Happy New Year. Because as these years are going on, you will experience new devils upon your new levels. And that's because no matter what, you are an angel living in a demonic world. But now contradict that, because if I just called you and I an angel living in a demonic world, what does that make us? That's exactly why you have to be careful with what you say now, going into all your different scenarios on your daily basis. You have to be careful how you think. You have to think ahead of your oppressor and ahead of your enemy. You have to think ahead of your enemies, pretending to be your friends and your family. You have to think ahead of yourself, because your ego is your own worst enemy as well. It's your best friend, but it's also your enemy. So you have to listen to either the angel or the devil on both sides of your shoulder. Not only that, you have to hear what's inside of yourself, because you shouldn't be listening to outside of yourself anyway. You have all the answers to what you're going through. So as you're elevating in different levels, you have to be ready for people to fuck you over, because things still won't change. Just because celebrities are getting knocked off, and just because many things are changing, doesn't change anything, because we are still governed by a government. So we're still paying for gas and water, and we're still paying for phones and TV. We're paying for entertainment. Like we're paying for a circus. Like we're paying for our kids to be in school systems that are taught by closed-minded perspectives that don't matter when you leave that perspective of school, because you never even graduate school in the first place. So what is school in the first place? We create it. So no matter, I had to stop saying that too, that's unconscious. But as we're developing, as we're evolving, you have to begin to learn beyond your peers, because there are levels to knowledge. There are levels to enlightenment. So you have to be so enlightened that you have to go beyond your wisdom. You have to go beyond your enlightenment that you deem as enlightening to you. And you have to stimulate your mind on a daily basis, because your mind will get bored of people who can't stimulate your mind. So you have to be careful with how far you go down a rabbit hole, because that's all life is. Life is nothing but a big rabbit hole upon a rabbit hole. Like reality, bliss, heaven, hell, the black holes, white holes, programming, computers, people, Homo sapiens, the Illuminati, illuminating beings, different fraternities, sororities, all these different ways of thinking are nothing but ideologies that are hidden behind closed doors through occultic symbolism. So you have to learn about many avenues of consciousness, as above, so below. You had to learn about your demonic ways in hell. Not only that, but you had to learn about your heavenly ways in heaven, because you create these ways of thinking. And last but not least, the universe is working in our favor. And as we see it, the universe loves us no matter what. And we have to believe that. Even though we go through so many things that are detrimental, they're hurtful, they're painful, they're traumatizing, give us PTSD, they make us sad. We have to thank the universe for that, because it helps us understand that hard times don't last forever unless our ego allows it. Not only that, we are the controller of our ego. So we let our ego control us, then we're doomed. We're doomed. And the eclipse will help reveal that to many people, because you got to understand your ego is a part of you, but it's not a part of you. So you have to contradict it. Many of you will start fasting. And when I keep saying purging just has to indicate with you cleansing yourself and eliminating yourself of your poison. That's all these things are doing. It's eliminating you of the dark that you thought was your light. So people thought that hating was a good thing. People thought talking down on themselves was a good thing. People thought being stupid was a good thing. And there are instances where you can be dumb, where it can be fun to be ignorant. But my people perish for lack of knowledge. You have to use discernment. You have to use logic on a daily basis. You have to stop being lazy and start thinking. Start thinking beyond your programming. Because if not, the system will do it for you. And if you allow the system to sway your way of thinking, then you're enslaved to their ego. So you are a slave to the mindset of a slave, because what is it? We allow it from a program perspective of our ego. So you have to be able to grow beyond your level, beyond your way of thinking, and understand that the universe is here to guide you into the betterment of your good. And you may not think it's good, but it's good to the universe, because what is good to energy? It doesn't know what good or bad even is. So you being a Homo sapien, you being all these flies, all these insects over here. But see, that's just healing. You have to heal this work. But by you being the universe, it works in whatever way you think it will. So you being a Homo sapien, if you know that you have good intentions in your life, if you know that you have love and you do everything with love, then what do you think the universe will pour right back into you? Love. You'll be in a loving state, and you'll begin to love everything that you used to hate. Not only that, these things will help you be open-minded. Once you can be open-minded, you can put your mind, you can start seeing other people's algorithms and frequencies. But we'll get deep into that on Patreon, because now we're getting into telepathy, psychic mediums and psychics, and we're getting into the neuroscience and all this other stuff that can happen within our mind. But nothing bad is going to happen. The second coming of Christ is not happening. The first coming of Christ isn't happening. Why? Because Christ, a way of thinking, is already here. That's why there's an AntiChrist and a Christ way of thinking. The fake Jesus or the real Jesus. Ego and spirituality. God, Satan. Dark, light. Good, bad. Black, white. That's all these things are, like the divine reflection. Do not fear your ignorance. That's what keeps you ignorant. If you fear what you do not know, then you will fear your whole life. Not only that, you will fear the afterlife. And what do you think will happen if you fear the afterlife? You will come back to this life again to learn about the afterlife. You have to know what you're doing here. This eclipse will make sure of that. So be careful with who you're around and who you see around your town, your city, your neighborhood, whatever the case may be. You have to be cautious of every living thing and dead thing as well. You have to see beyond your perspective of your ego. You have to see beyond your eyes, because they will lie to you. You got to be able to be awakened now, because that's the whole gist of being a spiritual being. You're being awakened. You're not spiritual anymore. You're not religious anymore. You're not a human being anymore. You practice being one. You practice being Christian. You practice being a Satanist. You practice being a brother or a sister. You practice being a parent. But truth be told, you are awakened into what you are practicing. You're practicing the human experience while being a spiritual being, having a spiritual experience, thinking you're having a human experience. But truth be told, the human experience doesn't even exist. Why? Because we go through death. Because that's the only thing that's promised to us is death. So if we die, that means we were never even alive in the first place. So life is nothing but a dream. So make your dreams your reality, and create your reality by having fun in this life at the current moment right now. Life is meant to be fun. Stop being so uptight. Stop being so mad and depressed about your life, and enhance it through your mindset. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of feeling. So if you want to have a great and blissful life, if you want to have the sun shine on you on a daily basis, even though it's blocked by the clouds or blocked by programming, you have to shine your light upon your darkest days. That's exactly what this eclipse will reveal to all of us. It's going to shine the darkness upon our lightest days now. As above, so below. As within, so without. No matter what, everything outside of you is a distraction. So go within yourself and find out who you really are. And once you do, you will be awakened to the being that you are becoming. And that is the true image of the Lord perspective of Almighty God. I love you. Have a great day, Divine Reflection.